I'm going to read to you the quote. The quote says, "The worst people have the most advice to give. Fix your situation before you try to advise others on theirs, sir." Obviously, the person that wrote this had a lot of resentment, had a lot of meanness in them, and obviously, it's somebody that I know because those are the only type of people that's taking the time to put out a message like this. But to this comment, even though it was directed at me, it was disguised as it was something that was just a small constructional critique. But see, it was laced with venom to try to hurt me or discourage me. That don't work over here, my friends. Not at all. Skin is too tough. My purpose is too strong. See, the mindset that people have is they want to kill your truth. They want to kill your dreams. But I'm so focused on my dreams that I'm not thinking about failure. And I don't want you to think about it either. So when somebody comes to you when you're trying to do something, you don't want to fall in the trap of thinking that you have imposter syndrome. In fact, what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is the belief that you're a fraud. You fake. Nothing you're talking about is truly real. In fact, the life that you lead is totally not who you really are. But yet you're trying to teach people and speak to people and lead and influence people. You're not qualified to do that. You know why? Because you are not perfect. Everything in your life has to be perfect in order for you to speak truth. No, that's not true. See, you can hear the whispers in the comment section or around the corner that says, "You're still struggling. Who are you to help me? You messed up last year. You should go somewhere and sit down. In fact, your bank account ain't even stacked up. You're not even a real entrepreneur." Listen to all that hate that's in their voice. So you know a person really doesn't have anything to do or really have a true purpose if they're taking the time to write some negative on your post. Then when you go to these people's pages, you see that they hadn't posted a thing. It's because they're spending all their time talking down on you. In 1 Timothy 4 and 12, I love what the Bible says. Don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example in speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. See, this is the type of mindset that we have to have. Just because I'm young, or maybe because I'm old, or because I have went through some things, don't give you the right to look down on me. It doesn't give anybody the right to look down on you. So we're not thinking about this imposter syndrome. So we're going to address this thing directly. When it was said that the worst people have the most advice, when you think about it, this comment was set out to hurt me. But let's be honest, some of the most life changing advice in history came from imperfect people. Moses had a speech problem, but yet he was able to lead people into the promised land. David, he committed adultery, still was called the man after God's own heart. Ain't that something? Paul, he killed so many Christians, he persecuted the church and wasted it. But yet and still, majority of the New Testament is wrote by the Apostle Paul. God was able to use him just like he can use you and me. See, nobody says fix your situation before you write scriptures. Or nobody says you can't be a basketball player because you don't know all the moves. Nobody says that you can't be the president because you're not that smart or you're not qualified. Forget what all these people are saying. God doesn't call you to perfection. It's just all a matter of perspective. What vantage point are you looking at? In 2 Corinthians 4 and verse 7, the Bible says, we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that all surpassing power is from God and not from us. See, it's not about us in this situation. That's why when I speak, we're speaking to a community. This is a community of a brotherhood. This is a community of like minded people. We're not focused on anybody trying to say that we are an imposter. And so we don't give them the time of day. But I wanted to use this as a means of content. So for those who are thinking about it themselves, like, hey, I can't post this video. I shouldn't do this or do that because somebody may not think it's real or authentic. See, I'm speaking from down below. I'm not trying to act like I got it all together, but I am steady pressing toward the finish line. That's why we progress on. It's a process, my friends. In fact, the expert says that 82% of adults experience imposter syndrome at some point in their life. People who speak authentically from experience are more relatable and effective than those who pretend that they have it all together. You know, those are those fake people who put on a mask every time they go into work, or when they get around their friends, they'll rather lie to them instead of tell them the truth of the matter. They just become yes men. I like what Dr. Valerie Young said. People don't need perfect leaders, they need real ones. People learn best from those who show their scars, not just their trophies. See, don't just focus on when you posting online or when you meet people, you always talking about yourself, or you gotta post a polished picture with the magnificent filters and all this AI and stuff. Be your authentic self. Be who you truly are. There's a story of two teachers. Basically, one had all these credentials. He was trying to teach some people a lesson. But for some reason, his credentials, his degrees, and all his accolades failed when it came to teaching other people. Why? Because he had no experience in what he was talking about. But he was certified now. But for some reason, the students didn't admire him. Everything he said went over their head. He wasn't able to be on their level. But the second teacher, he had been divorced. He was broken down. He had been fired before. He was humbled in his life by all the trials and tribulations that he experienced. But when he taught with clarity and honesty. And it's amazing that the students was able to listen to everything he said and took it to heart. You know, he told them, I've been there. Let me show you the path I took so you don't have to do the exact same thing. See, someone can follow you when you're not just so perfect and polished, but when you are real. And that's what this is all about, my friends. Be real. Be who you truly are. See, we don't have to fake in front for a podcast. We don't fake in front for a video camera. We not faking in front for no money. We not faking in front for nobody on God's green earth. So when you speak out and you speak with truth. Regardless of somebody telling you to shut up and sit down, you speak anyway. See, you have survived abuse. You have survived heartbreak and failure and betrayal. You survived your wife cheating on you. You've survived in every situation. So you get back up, regardless if you've had bankruptcy or you've had a nervous breakdown or you've had mental health issues. You get right back up and you keep on fighting. See, you found peace in God even when the whole world fell apart. You are a renewed person, and don't allow anybody to try to hold you in a place because you've done some things in your past. Your past is not your future, neither is your past your present. We're living in right now, my friends. And so when somebody calls you an imposter, realize that that's just somebody being negative because they have nothing better to do. More importantly, they're probably projecting onto you what they truly are. See, you are a witness. You have actually went through these things, which means you have a testimony. I like what Revelation 12 and verse 11 says. They triumphed by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. See, your very testimony will help someone else. You can't hold it all in. Your testimony is not for you, it's for other people to listen to how far God has brought you and all the things that you have went through, but you still standing. See, we shut up the mouth of these so-called gainsayers, these people who quick to put little posts on Facebook and always go run back and talk to their friends and their family, telling lies and doing all this fake stuff because they have trauma in their life and they can't face their own demons, so to speak. See, I'm not perfect, but I'm present. I'm here. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I was. I can guarantee you that. See, I don't want you to wait until you are flawless to stand up and fight for what you believe. I want you to stand up right now. See, we're not here to impress people, but we are here to impact people. I give you my final words. Don't let anyone silence you because your situation isn't flawless. It isn't perfect. Jesus specializes in broken people, and he specializes in us broken people to speak his perfect message, which is the gospel. He created you to be a creator. Create something that can help other people. Say something that can uplift somebody. Start you a podcast or write you a book, launch you a business. Do something that will help not only you, but the next generation. That's what this is all about, my friends. This is about legacy. And there is no way you can have a true legacy if you just sit back and be stagnant or you flinch every time somebody say something about what you do. You don't focus on them, you focus on your mission because you don't have to be perfect, but you are a person that's a survivor. Remember that and don't ever forget it. Take that word imposter syndrome and put it in the garbage with every other word that's negative that's trying to hold you back. And as always, y'all let it be legacy.